So hello everybody, this is Ken Renner and I'm getting back to you regarding a request for information regarding some of the investment properties that I've been cherry picking and finding in the Central Texas region. And I want to share some of that with you today and kind of give you the reasons why I think that I'm very bullish on these areas that I found of excellent opportunities. So first of all, here we are in Austin, Texas, one of the fastest growing cities in the nation, if not the fastest. Excellent job growth. We are at a position where we are cannot keep up with the amount of people moving here as far as the road system and also the building and the occupancy of properties. The job growth is so high. Great quality of life, but housing is now getting under a huge amount of pressure. So we've seen rents go up, but we've also seen prices go up faster than the rents have been able to keep up. So what we're seeing is our cap rates are going down. And in my business, I've sold over 700 properties in this region in the last 10 years. Is I've got to be able to look for great opportunities where we can still get a cash flow and still get a great property with a potential of appreciation as well as cash flow. We want to look for growth and we want to look for cash flow. So we've done some great work in the Austin area. Hutto is one of the areas that we've focused on over the last couple of years because it's got the confluence of the toll road 130 and 79 plus the new Kalahari Resort and Conference Center. It's going to be going in right here across from the Dell Diamond. Those prices are starting to get up there too in Hutto. They've gone up as much as 15% in the last year. We also look at suburbs down in South Austin and the suburbs off I-35, Kyle and Buda, and even down to San Marcos, which I'm also bullish on. Though we're starting to see the San Marcos market become almost as expensive as the Austin market as far as what you get for your money and the rents. So we've worked all the way down in the San Antonio area, but that's a completely different market as far as I'm concerned. San Antonio is a little bit more blue collar. And it's a nice city, it's big, it's well it's spread out, and has its own opportunities. But today we're going to be talking about going north of Austin and finding out what I've found that I'm really excited about. And so are several of my investors already, including myself. I just closed on 2 properties that I'm going to show you here in a few minutes. In the next region, the next largest community area north of Round Rock, Georgetown, which is our Austin suburbs where I live. That little dot is where I live. And we are looking at the Belton Temple area. This is pretty much called Central Texas. It includes Temple, Belton, and Killeen, which includes Fort Hood, Copperas Cove. There's another little town, Harker Heights here. It also includes Waco, which is very much getting a national attention due to the Fixer Flipper show with Chip and Joanna Gaines. And there's 35,000 people a week visiting the Waco market right now to go to their silo shops and things like that, and visit with the whole Fixer Flipper idea. And the reason is it's so affordable and the quality of life is slower paced and is relaxing, and there's not traffic except on I-35. Other than that, you can really get around, and just a slower pace of life, which is kind of refreshing, being that I've been in Austin, which is getting to be super crowded as far as the roads are concerned. So it's getting to be a little frustrating getting around town here to get our business done, so to speak. Okay, so I'm gonna take a dive into the Temple Belton market. Let me go in the Central Texas area here a little bit and talk about what's going on here. The thing I like about Temple Belton market is that it's a separate economy than the Austin economy. And we'll talk about the employers coming up here in a minute. But it's a separate economy, which means that I've got a lot of properties, rental properties in Austin, and so do my clients. But I'm thinking about other potential diversification because Austin's heavy on government, heavy on tech. If something happens in the tech market, then Austin suffers. It's booming right now, and that's great for our values and for my business. But in the meantime, we're on housing shortage down there, so people are actually moving, looking places where they can move north. Believe it or not, this is commutable to our northern suburbs. It's about 46 minutes from my house to the Temple area. So taking a look at the Central Texas area again, and I'll kind of describe the cities here and tell you why I'm in certain areas and where I'm not, at least where I'm focusing. First of all, you have the Killeen-Fort Hood area. This is the largest artillery military base in the nation. It is not going away. It's by the size and everything. This is where they train all the artillery and all the ground forces for the military, and knowing what's coming down the pipe as far as our new administration wanting to beef up the military presence and update and overhaul our military infrastructure. We know that this area is not going away. There's 50,000 employees, not counting the military personnel. Well, I guess it would be I guess it would be the military personnel. But Killeen, I'm not really looking for investment in this area to be locally around Killeen, because a lot of this area right here is military, VA, people that come in and buy their homes, VA, Veterans Administration, the veterans, or the people who are actually active duty. And they all buy them with zero down and zero total move-in. And what ends up happening, if they get called out or whatever, then it ebbs and flows with whatever happens in the military world. So they can be a great boom and overcrowded and everything when all the enlisted men are here, and then it can be a ghost town when they all leave. So I'm not big right now on investing in Killeen just because of the ups and downs. Copperas Cove is an up and coming area. It is, but still heavily relying on the Fort Hood employment base. Also, another thing I don't like about Killeen necessarily is they don't have a really great school system. In fact, that's why we focus just a few miles east into the area where people really want to put their kids in school. And so there's a dual town here called Temple, Belton. Between the two cities, there's about 100,000 residents, and it's also got a lot of attraction to it recreationally, as well as a great employment base. And so, taking a look at just the satellite map, you can see this lake here is called Lake Belton, and it's huge. It's bigger than our Lake Travis, which we have just outside of Austin. And Lake Travis is huge. So lots of recreation, very warm water, great fishing, great place to go boating. And the other great thing is it will never be crowded. You can go on and on forever up this lake, and it'll never be crowded. And I'll tell you why. It's because it's an Army Corps of Engineers lake. And so there are no real docks. You can't have a house with a dock on front. There's a couple of marinas where they can, and places to launch your boat, but you're not going to have like we have in some of our lakes locally, where there are docks everywhere. Therefore, there's boats everywhere. You can see just down in here what I'm talking about. You will not see any docks on here, and then you'll see the small marina where you can launch your boat, or you can go rent a boat. And so, same thing down in Belton, just south of here, is the Lake Stillhouse Lake, which is an awesome lake, big, giant, and very famous for fishing, for bass fishing particularly, and boating. This is one of our communities that I'm targeting. I'm not going to go into this one right now. We'll circle back to this one on the next video. Three Creeks is a very exciting community in the Belton area, and like I said, we'll be talking about in a minute, or actually on the next video. Belton itself has its employers. It's a small town, so the biggest employer is probably going to be the University of Mary Hardin Baylor. And they have an excellent football team, and it's a very highly rated university, and this is a big draw for the Belton area. Now, moving over to its sister city, we have Temple, Texas. Temple has really been around since the mid-1800s. It was originally put on the map because it was one of the biggest railroad stops in the Central Texas region, and so the railroad, of course, was a big deal. And you can see even right here the railway it spans all the way to, oh gosh, down to the coast of Texas and all the way up through Missouri for that matter. But what we have here is a very nice, quaint town, and it's got several employers that are, I'll just go to the list that we've got. The largest being the Scott and White Hospital. See this big pink thing right here? This is the Scott and White Hospital. It's huge. This hospital alone has 8,000 employees. It's a place where well, Scott and White is a medical all throughout Texas. They own clinics and medical facilities and hospitals. And so doctors who are coming to work at Scott and White, they'll come here for their residency. And that's one of the things that I really like about it is that the 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 doctors come here for maybe 3 years and go through their residency, and then they leave. So they're great it's awesome to have them as tenants. And of course, you've got nurses and all the rest of those that are living and working here in the area. Not far from there, you have the VA, Veterans Administration. This is the Central Texas VA healthcare system, so it's a VA hospital as well. So once again, Veterans Administration is not going anywhere. So it's very stable, and then they have, in between the two, they have Temple College, which is right here, Temple College. So you've got a regional college as well. So some of the central part of Temple is grounded by the Scott and White clinic. And you got the Temple Mall and the Walmart Supercenter, your typical, indoor malls, and even an IMAX. So you've got your major shopping centers. So you got good infrastructure here: Lowe's, Starbucks, another hospital, McLean Scott and White Children's Hospital here as well. So going back out on the map to kind of give you a perspective again, I-35 has a bunch of restaurants here that IHOP and Chili's and McDonald's, and it's one of these intersections here on I-35. A lot of the growth is going west, but where we're invested in the south of the actual Temple proper, and where I've thrown my dart for the short term right now is in a community called Alta Vista. And Alta Vista is about just a mile or so south of the main Scott and White campus. And what I really like about the community is not only the quality of the building for what we're getting, and you'll see that in the video coming up here, but I'm also very excited that it's in the very top rated school district for the area. Temple schools themselves in the Temple school district are not very good. Just say that right now. But this community and surrounding communities that are south of here are in what's called the Academy School District. So if we go to the Great School site for the Academy School District, we'll take a look. So it's rated 8 out of 10, which really is pretty outstanding considering that the rest of Temple's schools are in the all of them are under 5s. So you have, and these are all right down the street from where Alta Vista is. So that's one of the big draws. One of the things that I look for in investment property is great job base, great job stability. Second thing I look is for good infrastructure, like do they have shopping malls? Do they have places to go? Do they have a Walmart? Do they have a Lowe's and a Home Depot? And then the other important thing is do they have great schools? And so I'm once again looking at this. You'll get people that are drawn all the way from the Killeen Fort Base to come to here because they have great schools. And so if you want to put your kids in great schools, that's why I'm investing in this particular school district. All right, so going back to I'm going to go back to, first of all, the bigger picture of this area, which is the employment base, which I think is really important, like we just talked about. And we'll take a look at the temple. This is the 800-pound gorilla is the Baylor Scott and White Clinic with 8,200 employees. That's this building here. And then they also have, Scott and White also has their health plan employees are here. And I believe from what they told me at the Chamber of Commerce that there's over 1,000 employees now. That number's low. And that's up on the other, kind of a few miles away over here. We have Fikes, which is an oil, like a gas station, distribute gas to gas stations. The McLean Company, which is a major distribution company all throughout Texas. They just, it's a little bit more on what they are. McLean, I believe McLean is the owner of the Houston Texans, and he's also a huge supporter of Baylor University, and his name is actually on their brand new stadium up there. So, so a big influence, been around in the community as an influence for a long time. Let's take a look again here. Walmart Distribution Center. It's a huge building, huge. So this is the distribution center for the whole area. And when we're talking huge, we're talking a huge building. I can see if I can, oh, they won't let me do the satellite map. And then we have the HEB Distribution Center. HEB is the largest grocery store chain in all of Texas. And so these distribution units, these jobs are not going away, if you know what I mean. So kind of looking down the list here, Artco Bell, they do put together classroom, an intuitive classroom. Performance Food Group is another distribution of food and supplies. Texas Hydraulics obviously speaks for itself. Fikes, once again, is a distributor. And there was another one kind of cool, is Acer. I think they have a manufacturing facility here as well. And then there's a couple software companies too. So the job growth is definitely here. Affordability is great. Lifestyle is great. Recreation's awesome. I know I've just bought my first 2 properties up here, and I'm planning on buying several more. And I'll go into the reasons why here in a second. So let's jump back over to D.R. Horton, largest builder in the United States, largest builder in Texas, largest builder in our metro. And they've got a good section of Central Texas covered. They're not the only builder, but they're the builder of choice right now. And one of the things that we have to be careful of is they start closing out. You'll see there's closing out, closing out. They're having a hard time keeping up with production, having a hard time keeping up with the amount of people wanting to buy homes. So these subdivisions also cover Killeen and what have you, but we're going to focus on the one that I've both myself and my property manager is very bullish on. So this is Alta Vista, and if you can see, it's in the Academy School District. And the floor plans that I've bought is the Roosevelt floor plan, and I'm buying them just in the low 150s right now. That means they put a substantial amount of upgrades in, and you'll see that in the video. But it's a very well thought out floor plan. There's no wasted space in the house. You've got a huge porch in the front. You walk in the entry area. You've got 2 bedrooms off to the left with a bathroom on the left as well. 2-car garage with extra storage space here. And then you've got a nice open living room, a dining room, good size. You see 9 by 12, and then a kitchen that's well appointed. It's got granite countertops, higher end cabinets, stainless steel appliances. Then the master bedroom is good size 13 by 13 with a 5 by 11 walk-in closet. And then the master bath, at least in mine, have dual vanities. One of them, mine has a shower combination, and this one, oversized shower combination, and my other one has a big garden tub with a shower. So really well thought out plan, but you know, there is not a bad plan in the bunch here. And so any of these plans that are the Alcott is an amazing plan. My wife really loves this house, and this is the same as the model plan. And let's see, in the Holly, these are all really well thought out plans. So once let's see, starting from 171 on the Alcott's 2,091 square foot for 171,000 base. Plus, then they add some upgrades on there. But we talk about the different plans, but I want to show you more what the actual interior of these houses are looking like, and then go from there. So we will now dive into the videos that I have of the actual houses that I've closed on. And one thing we have to be aware of, that the builder is very cognizant of not putting a ton of rental properties in this area. They're not in the business to build rental neighborhoods. So they're starting to limit sales and be very discretionary on what they're going to allow as far as investors into this area. So we have to act quick before they change their minds, and we also have to make sure that we play by the game, that they're just the way it is. So that's it. That's my investment area of choice right now, and we'll get into other ones as we move forward. But this one is there. Well, by the way, there's only 38 houses left for sale in this section until they come to the new section, which won't be open until probably November, December. So there's going to be a closeout, and there's going to be definitely a price increase between the old sections of Alta Vista, which are brand new. I mean, older, like current section, and the new section. I would imagine it would be $7,000 to $10,000 higher. So you're probably going to be walking in by the time you close on this house with a nearly 5% additional equity in the property. So there you go. A home that I'm buying, well, we'll get back in a second, and when I show you the videos. But the rental range for a 1,600 square foot house at the 150 range is 1,300 to 1,350, and so that's going to throw off about $300 positive or more every month on these with a 25% down payment at today's interest rates. All right, so let's go take a look at the actual product then on my other videos.